Salves, boy. Fade in. Exterior, a Massachusetts South Shore road. Day. Superimpose, 1993. A 90s white station wagon, Massachusetts license plates, on a South Shore town street. Series of shots. A white steepled church. B, worn playground, community center. C, salt marshes by the road. The radio tunes.
Do you remember the first time you heard someone say gay or queer or even homosexual? I don't. But thinking back, it must have been in my father's car.
A hand on the radio knob settles on talk radio, an angry voice low in the background of the radio.
Any given day in the car, it was talk radio playing, like James Dobson or Rush Limbaugh.
2 children in the back seat of the car. Young Cammie, 13, stern-faced, braided hair, staring out the window, and young Nick, 8. His gender should be unclear at this point.
In the 90s, what would a kid have heard Rush say? That they were going to hell? Sure. That AIDS was on purpose and should kill them. That those people were sexual deviants after your children. That a parent must protect those children and correct those children by any means necessary. Don't even think about sparing the rod, the radio would have shouted.
The car pulls into a Catholic church parking lot, a cemetery on one side. From Nick's point of view, his father gets out of the car, slams the door behind him. We see only his father's back, never a face. The mother in the front passenger seat sighs and opens her door, but does not get out. We do not see her face. Cammie puts a hand on her mother's shoulder, and the mother squeezes it, as Nick watches.
When I was 10 years old, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts said enough was enough and sent me to live with my grandfather in Cambridge. He tried to teach me to be a normal teenager, but mostly I rolled my eyes at his stories about growing up in Italy. I didn't see my parents. By the time I was in college, they'd moved to somewhere across the country a little more aligned with their worldviews. My sister got married young, exactly what they wanted, exactly what they'd done.
Young Nick sits on the curb outside the church, holding a rosary, counting the beads slowly. A scar is visible on his left hand. When he stretches, bruising in the outline of a hand is evident, as his short sleeves pull higher on his arms.
Neither of them ever had passports, so I left the country as soon as I could. I tried to run away so many times as a kid, and I finally got to as an adult.
Young Nick looks over his shoulder at the church doors, sees no one, and starts walking quickly down the sidewalk away from the church, towards the cemetery.
Funny thing about running away, though, is you keep feeling like you're being chased. I hadn't looked back in years, when all of a sudden, it was as if I were a little kid and my father grabbed my collar to stop me running. Except this time, it was a letter that sent me running back.
Young Nick running down the sidewalk, towards the ocean, footsteps pounding on the sidewalk.